Finally, it's arrived, the foldable Fiido X. This is a bike I've been waiting a long time for. The original order that I had was cancelled in the beginning because it turned out they had a few little niggles, some major ones with the design of this bike when it came to the folding part of the frame. Thankfully, that's all been corrected. You could say I now have, of course, the revised, updated version, which has a complete fix for this. It's been really reinforced, and so far, no complaints for me. It looks really sturdy out of the frame. So the idea of these bikes, of course, is being something a lot more compact for city commutes and something you could fold up, maybe even take it up into the office with you, stow it under a stairwell, or place it in the boot of a car and travel with it with relative ease, because the handlebar drops down, pedals fold in, and of course it does fold in half. Now this bike has 20-inch rims. It's got hydraulic disc brakes. Yay, big thumbs up for that, because so many of these bikes just have mechanical disc brakes, but I can give you a spoiler here, they're good. Strong braking performance, 7-speed Shimano setup, and the battery is in this seat post here, which is lockable. There's a little combination electronic lock here to lock it in there and also power on the bike. Now the capacity is 417 watt hours. The motor, the version I have, is the 350 watt version, which is the more powerful one. There is also a 250 watt version of this particular foldable e-bike. The tires are 20 inches by 1.95 inches, and you'll notice here there's this little bit that sticks out, and you're probably wondering, well, what is that? Well, it's using magnets, so when you fold it, it's going to latch the bike together. It's probably this that is rattling around and causing the rattling that I'm hearing. Comes with side reflectors on each of the 20-inch wheels. Foldable pedals, you just need to pull in, and then they can go up and then latch down. They're made out of an ABS style plastic. The X model does use a torque sensor, so it's very quick to react to your pedaling. As soon as you start to pedal, you get that power delivery, and it is smooth. Not like the speed sensors that sometimes can be a little jerky, or they take far too long to give you that pedal assistance, especially on climbs. Not here. The bike comes with a sturdy kickstand. It has not fallen down on me yet, and it does not rattle. Also included in the box, you'll find an accessories kit, which includes some mud guards. Now, I haven't installed them because in this climate here, I don't really need mud guards. It barely rains. The drivetrain consists of a 7-speed setup with Shimano turning. Now, I've seen a lot of this particular derailleur, and it is, yes, entry-level drivetrain here from Shimano, but it does the job. It's just very common. Our front crank has 52 teeth and a chain guard around it. The bike's frame is magnesium alloy. We are looking at a total weight of 19.8 kilos. There's no flaws with the frame that I can see, no rough patches. Very good finish to it, and I do like this matte green metallic paint job. The bike comes with a tail light, which is quite bright. You can see it even during the day, and it lights up the path ahead of you, the front headlight, which you can see is a projector style. It's got a lens behind it. Now, the front headlight, just like the tail light, is part of the frame. But having the headlight part of the frame means when you turn, because it's not on the fork, the light beam doesn't turn with your turns. So it's fixed straight ahead wherever the frame of the bike is pointing. It's just a minor complaint there from me. The bike has this little keypad here for added security, so you can lock it out, and you need a 5-digit PIN. By default, it is 0 to 5. Now, in order to turn the bike on, you need to press and hold the power button. Key in the number, press the power button again, which is a little cumbersome to me. It's great that it's keyless, but I would have preferred actually, I think, a key. It's a little more simple, it's quick and easy to do, and this can be a little bit cumbersome. Often I've gone to first power it on, you hold down the button, it does a short beep, didn't like it, you need to repeat until you hear the long beep, then put the pin in, press it again, and for me that process isn't that great. I'd rather just turn a key. This bike's battery is part of the seat post. Now, it has power rails within it where it does pick up the power, so there's no cables for the seat, which is really good. There is a main power button right here with a green status LED and even a fuse. This is really good to see, so if you accidentally blow the fuse there, you can replace that, you'll be back up and running without causing any major damage. I wish more brands would do this. The battery's capacity is 417 watt hours, and they do claim with this model here, the 350 watt motor, we should be able to get a range of 110 kilometers. The battery and the seat post lever here is locked into place. Now when it's unlocked, you're able to simply just pull on this lever. It's a little hard to do, so it's quite tight, so the seat doesn't drop, and then you can adjust the height of the seat post. Now if you want to know the information on the rider heights that this bike caters to, do check out the specifications on Fiido's website. There is a link in the description of this video. It is of course a foldable bike, and the fold right here mechanism has changed from the original version, this being the version 2 of the bike. There is a little security latch here that you need to just push towards the front fork, and then you can pull on this handle and proceed to then fold the bike in half. Like so, and there is this spring here to protect the hydraulic cables, the power cable that runs through here, so that is not going to get damaged. Now it looks very good, the newer design of this, very sturdy. This is all magnesium alloy right here, and this part reinforced, and I don't see any weakness this time around. The handlebars do fold down, so there's a little security here that's spring-loaded. You need to just push down on that, pull on the lever, and then the handlebars will collapse right down. So now in its folded state, it is taking up about half the space of a standard 20-inch bike, and this is one of the big pros and the reasons why you would probably go for a foldable bike instead of a standard bike. So it makes it easier to place it under a stairwell or in the boot or trunk of a car. The X is using a standard seat with a synthetic material here. It has quite a bit of padding to it. Overall, not a bad seat. It is comfortable and I've got no complaints about it. The bike does use lock grips, which is good to see. Often Fiido and their previous bikes would use these real cheap grips that would just spin around, and they were terrible. Levers do feel really good, being hydraulic. We have our screen which displays clearly our battery gauge, our speed, a trip meter, pedal assist levels, and then the light. Now you'll see it shimming away here because the frequency of the screen, I just cannot get it to match with any of the shutter rates of my camera. So it doesn't look like this. It is clear, you can see it in daylight. We've got our gear selector right here. That's Shimano, very standard, entry-level stuff here, 7-speed as mentioned before. Now the ride test here of the Fiido X. So the foldable hinge part here has been reinforced, very solid. I have full confidence in it. I've gone down curbs and things and it's not budging. It does look really good to me now, of course, with the version 2 of the bike. So I have the 350 watt version, as I've mentioned a couple of times. So it's the more powerful version. It has the torque sensor and the 3 pedal assist levels. Now, size-wise, it's pretty much like a BMX. It's like riding a BMX. It is a smaller bike. It's got 20-inch size wheels. Now my knees, they come a little close to the handlebars, as you can see, but not to the point that when I turn, I'd have the handlebars touching or my knees hitting it. That is not going to happen here with this particular bike. So I'm in pedal assist level 2 now, and then 3. You can hear the motor a little. It's not that loud. Now when you start to pedal, the torque sensor reacts pretty much instantaneously, which is good. Gear shifts, very good. Typical Shimano. There are no grading of gears here. Now I can get up to 25 kilometers per hour quite comfortably. Once you go over that, it cuts out the motor. So that's the legal limit here. It is locked to 25 kilometers per hour. So it's a smooth, comfortable ride, very easy on the flat to get about A to B. Now I've got a rattle that's coming from, I think, within the frame at the front, or maybe the front fork. I've tightened everything up, so I don't know what it is that's rattling. To me, it could be the cable, but it doesn't seem like a cable. Maybe the controller inside the frame is rattling a little bit. And you can probably hear that now, that it's just constantly rattling away whatever is loose. I do find that very annoying. Now I'm a big fan of bikes that don't rattle. Any rattling really does irritate me. So it is a definite con of the Fiido X. Maybe it's a problem with my unit. I hope they all don't suffer from this rattle. Another real test of any e-bike is its climbing performance. So I have the more powerful version here from Fiido, which is the 350 watt model. So if you've got the 250 watt, expect the performance to be a lot less than what I am showing here. So I will start out in the pedal assist level 3, which is the maximum. I am in the lowest gear, of course, and we'll see how it does fare. So torque sensor straight away gives me that power. That is really good. No waiting for it to hit 3 or 4 kilometers like the speed sensor models. And this is easy. Super easy climbing up this. Because of the gearing, I'm in the lowest gear and that pedal assist is fine. I can probably even go up a few gears. I can pedal a little faster. I'm gaining speed here, now 15 kilometers per hour. So climbing performance is good, but what happens if I turn off the motor? Could I climb up this without the motor? Oh, you notice it straight away. Wow, I have to put quite a bit of effort into this, but it's possible. You will get fit if you ride with a low battery or no battery. Then the braking performance. If you've seen my other videos, you probably hear me rant on about mechanical disc brakes. Well, this has got hydraulic. So from this post here, full braking, very good. For a 20-inch rim size, it is good, very good braking performance. Nice, strong, powerful hydraulic disc brakes. And for this price point, it's great to see that they did go with hydraulic brakes. Then the top speed of the Fiido X, well, I have noticed for some reason the trip computer will not read over 25 kilometers per hour. Now I've used GPS to confirm that I am riding now actually over 25 kilometers per hour, but it doesn't say that on the screen. So that seems to be a bit of a bug. Now I can safely get it up to around 30 kilometers per hour, but it is a little hard with the 20-inch size rims. So I've made it down the coast. I've been riding around everywhere, and I've seen that for one battery bar, I am covering about 19 kilometers. That's really good for a 20-inch size rim. So of course, when you ride over 25, it's not using the motor anymore, so that will save you some battery life, but it definitely is looking like 80 kilometers at least for me. So the range of the bike overall, with my testing, with my 82 kilos, a few little climbs, for me is looking around 70, 80 to 80 kilometers, which for a 20-inch size bike is actually really good. Normally I get around maybe 40, 50 kilometers out of most of the other e-bikes, but it does have a decent sized capacity, and it's got the torque sensor, which I think is helping out, making it a little bit more efficient. Now, of course, when you ride over 25 kilometers per hour, the motor cuts out. So you're all on just your own pedal power. You're not touching that battery at all, which, yes, I was doing quite a bit. Mostly when I'm on the flat, when I get up to speed, I can happily cruise along, and I would estimate around 28 kilometers per hour. So top speed, because of the gearing, even though it does have a 52 tooth front crank, it still is quite hard for me to get over about 30 kilometers per hour pedaling away. For some reason, there is a minor complaint from me, and that is the display only shows 25 kilometers per hour. And even though I pedal, I've confirmed it with GPS, a lot faster than 25 kilometers per hour, even going downhill, it'll still state 25 kilometers per hour. Hydraulic brakes, really good braking performance for a 20-inch bike. That gets a big thumbs up from me. Normally they're mechanical disc brakes, a little bit cheaper. They haven't been so good. I like the fact we can remove the battery here. Now the cons are very minor. The display with the speed that I've mentioned, I've got a bit of a rattle coming from that thing there, the magnet that you attach when you fold it up so it attaches it together. And then the passcode at the back, the security to unlock the bike, it's kind of annoying. Now it's great that it's keyless, but I actually probably would have preferred an old-fashioned insert a key, turn it, it's on, turn it off, remove the key, no one can power it on. So the combination lock is another point that could actually fail if it, imagine you got it really wet, although it's supposed to be waterproof, splash proof, shouldn't be an issue, but it's, for me, a minor hindrance. I would rather not actually have it. So the climbing performance with the 350 watt version I've got turned out to be good. I could go up steep climbs in the lowest gear comfortably without working up too much of a sweat. Now, if you did run out of the battery, then it is going to be a challenge because it becomes quite a bit of a heavy bike. It's almost 20 kilos, so it's not super light. So really the only reason you would probably go for this bike is if you want a modern looking design, you want a foldable bike, you need a foldable frame, foldable handlebars, you can make it more compact, you can fold in the pedals, because it is a little bit expensive, this particular model. Fiido also does have other bikes out there like their D11, which are fantastic value for money, because they do the same job as this, get you from A to B, but okay, it's not as nice as this particular bike here. So overall, it is a very good bike. It just has those minor little niggles there for cons that I do hope Fiido can address. Now, by the way, they do at the moment have a bit of a competition, a bit of a giveaway going on where you can win discounts for this bike and various other prizes. So do check that out if you are, of course, interested in the Fiido X. So thank you so much for watching this review of the X.